Hello babies, and welcome back to another part of the Unhaul Project, and it's apparently witching hour or something. I don't know how I ended up being this dark. Normally I'm basically a Nickelodeon color explosion, but I needed something to hide how greasy my hair is, and I'm doing a video today if it kills me, so let's go. Notice Bookwitchreviews, my channel, and you wouldn't know because I barely post videos. I think the last one was maybe 6 months ago, and I have some in store. Maybe they'll see the light of day one day, maybe they won't. But I, over the last couple of years, have been more serious about unhauling books, especially because I have also been more serious about hoarding books. That is hopefully going to be different this year, but it's another part of the Unhaul Project, and let's just go straight into the bookish unhauling. So first off, the regular disclaimer: just because I'm unhauling a book does not mean that I hate it. It doesn't mean that I hate your taste just in case you love it. It just means that I have a lot of books. I keep having a lot of books. Like I've been cutthroat, and I have been like cutting stuff out that I'm like, I will not reread it, so it does not stay. I have been cutthroat on the TBR shelves even, because I don't normally do that, because if I haven't read it, then maybe I would like to go back to it. Vaguely piled them. There's like duplicates, and then there's other stuff. Have I ruined the piles? Possibly. Anyway, let's just go. I think there's 40-ish books around here. Maybe more. First off, we have Heroes and Mythos by Stephen Fry. These are two books that I got from a charity shop. I've been meaning to read them because I love Greek mythology, but they're just sort of staring at me. So I feel like they can go. I've had them on my shelves for like 2-3 years-ish. How long have I been living here now? A while. It's been a while. They're going out. Also finally cleared out in my poetry collection. It's been a few years since I was obsessed with poetry, which means that I don't touch them. So I've only kept my favorites, and so the rest are going to someone else who can hopefully enjoy them. First up, we have The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one by Amanda Lovelace. I actually did love these, but I don't reread poetry in that way unless it seriously speaks to me. We also have her other book, The Princess Saves Herself, in this one. We have Clementine von Radek's Mouthful of Forevers. We have Letters and Why They're All For You by Chloe Frayne. We have Milk and Honey by Ruby Kerr. Please find this, and I wrote this for you and only you. Can you see that I was severely sad when I was really into poetry? And then we have Atticus Love Her Wild. We have another second-hand haul. This is the Earthsea Quartet by Ursula Le Guin. I want to read this, but I don't know if I'll ever get to it with the severe amount of books I have on my TBR. So if I ever do, I'll probably borrow it from the library. We have a Weird Folio Society book that I picked up because it was second-hand, and I am a sucker for pretty books, and it's quite cool, but I will not read it. And so this is What Are the 7 Wonders of the World, and I think it's written by a variety of people. So we got some books that I have unhauled once before, and then I found them again, and now I am unhauling them again because I keep thinking I'll reread them, and I'm just gonna have to borrow them from the library if I really desperately want to reread them. So these are the first 3 books in the Wicked Lovely series by Melissa Marr. This is Wicked Lovely, Ink Exchange, and Fragile Eternity, which is like fairies, urban fantasy sort of YA, and I used to really love this, and I have never reread it, but I found them twice in a secondhand bookshop. I feel like that's destiny. If I want them again, I'll probably find them. Got a mix here. So these two I'm surprised I'm getting rid of. This is A Spindle Splintered and A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Harrow, and I have loved 2 books that Alex E. Harrow has written, so much so that they are some of my favorite books ever written, but apparently this novella series is just not for me. It's sort of portal magic with people who are chronically ill, and that in itself sounds great, but I've had this book for like a year now. This is the sequel, and I have not reached for it, and it's so short. And this one, it was fine, but is it anything compared to Once and Future Witches? No, it is not. Now, if we could just get a little bind up of the 6 Deaths of the Saint, which is like 30 pages of some of the most incredible writing I have ever read, then that's what I want. Give me that. We have another little novella. This is The Blackguard's Drum by P. Delcy Clark, And I thought this was good, but I won't read it again, and I'm sad about it. Also from Peter Elsie Clarke, a book that I was so sure was going to be a 5-star read, and it just ended up being like 3 stars. This is A Master of Jinn. It is 1920s Cairo with magic and a sapphic main character, and I wish I loved this, and I just did not, so it's going out. Goodbye. Next we have another book I also thought that I would love intensely, and it's still fine. I just don't love it enough to keep it. This is The Society for Soulless Girls by Laura Stephen. This is sort of Jekyll and Hyde, creepy college thriller-ish. Also queer. I wanted to love this so bad, and some of the writing is really good that I am debating picking up her other book, but I just, this one, no. This one was sent to me unsolicited. I have not read it. I probably will not. This is Playing the Witch card by KJ De La Antonia. I feel bad about getting rid of it, but I feel like someone else is going to enjoy this more than me. Now we get to some books that I actually did enjoy, but I am never going to reread them. And so there has to be made some space on these shelves because they are full as they are. Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. Like, I really enjoyed this, but at the same time, I didn't love it in the way that I anticipated, and I probably won't read it again. So next is a book that I have tried to unhaul, I think like 3 times, and it keeps sneaking back onto my shelves because I'm like, I could just keep it. This is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and there's a sequel, and I will never read that sequel, but I want to keep this, but I feel like I can't because I'm never going to reread it, but it's just so pretty. But it has to go. It has to go. Next we have The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill. This is a Little Mermaid retelling, as you can probably tell from the cover. And I actually really enjoyed this. It has sat very prettily on my shelves for many years, but I don't think I'll ever reread it. It's like quite like a serious retelling, which I enjoy because the original story by H.C. Andersen is quite severe, and this one was much closer to it, but I don't think I'll ever read it again. Now I'm talking about it, now I want to keep it because that's who I am. Here we got another Elizabeth Lim book that I tried to read like twice. I even have a NetGalley YAG of it, and I just can't get into it. This is Six Crimson Cranes. This is a Six Swans retelling, which is my favorite fairy tale of all time. And I wanted to love this also because, you know, like, look at these covers. How stunning is this? But I'm not going to read it. And it makes me sad because I wanted to love this. Next we have Dark Shores by Danielle L. Jensen. This is another, like, could have stayed on my shelves, could have not stayed, because I did really enjoy it, but will I ever read it again? I don't think so. I don't know. This is Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri. It is her debut book, I believe. Tasha Suri obviously has written The Jasmine Throne, which is one of my favorite, like, adult epic fantasies. And this one, I just didn't love in the same way. I do have the sequel still sitting on my shelves because I do want to read that. But this one, it was good. But I'm hoping someone else will love it more than I did. We got Ash Lords by Scott Reagan. I enjoyed this. It was on my TBR for a very long time, and I finally read it. And now it's like, I'm good. I'm good without. We got The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry by C.M. Wagnermere. I really enjoyed this. It's really funny, but I did expect a little bit more of it. It's also written in sort of a funky way, but it is queer and funny and sort of like, oh yeah, just good historical fantasy fun. Then we got this. This is The Blacksmith Queen by G.A. Aiken. G.A. Aiken also writes as Shelley Lawrenston, which I believe is her real name. And this is her new series, which is sort of like, she writes paranormal romance or like fantastical, like romance stuff, and I really enjoyed it because she also always writes it really funny. This is her new series, and in it we have centaurs, and I don't think I can get on board with this one. Part of me is like, I want to keep it because she writes funny stuff, but I have all of her other stuff on ebook, so if I want to reread it, I can just buy it on ebook. Okay, let's talk about a book that I wanted to love so bad, and that people still off on Book Talk are talking about and are like, this is so great, and why can I not be on to the hype? And it is Modern Divination by Isabel Agajanian. I feel like I'm saying it wrong and I feel bad for it. Look at this stunningly beautiful cover. and then tell me why I didn't love this. It took me so long to read. It has some really interesting aspects and some really great writing, especially in the beginning. But I feel like you could have cut at least 100 pages out of here. It just felt very long, a little bit unnecessary in places. And then I wanted to love it so bad because I want to keep this book so bad. But I just can't, because I'm just gonna get mad at it all the time. Now I want to keep it. This is my problem with doing these unhaul videos, is that I'm like, oh, maybe I could just get into it if I tried again. I can't. Tell me no in the comments. Next up on the sort of vague categories, I don't know how this video is gonna go. Duplicates. And I, as a book collector / hoarder, love my duplicates, and I will have duplicates of books that I love with zero problem and zero shame. But I also am kind of like, I will not keep duplicates of books that are not either super special edition or the series is one that I love so much so that it deserves to have multiple spaces in the library. So these are just some books that I love, but I have a second edition of it, so I don't need to have two. First up, we have the Grimoire of Grave Fates, which is a series of short stories all set in a magic school, and each student is trying to solve a murder. It is edited by Hannah Alcaff and Margaret Owen. I really enjoyed this. It's so fun. It's super queer and just like marvelous. But I have a really good floppy paperback edition, and that's the one I want to keep. We got a Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I have a hardback of this, which is like a special edition, and part of me sort of wants to keep the paperback rather than the hardback. So I'm debating which one of these I'm going to get rid of, but I love this. It's so smart and good. Obviously, it's R.F. Kuang, but I don't need two of them. I only need one. This is so yellow. Next, we have an extra copy of The Atlas Paradox by Olivier Blake. I have a special edition of this already, and then I was sent a edition of Black Crow PR, so someone else can hopefully enjoy this. Next is Raber by Jordan Ifukio. This is a stunning African-inspired YA fantasy, and I have a Illumicrate special edition, and it's like solid 5-star. It's so good. I really need to read the sequel, but someone else can love this, and I will keep my fantasy edition. Next, we have a regular edition of Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. This is one of my favorite books I read last year, but I have a very fancy Illumicrate edition of it, and I might buy the paperback when that comes around at one point so that I can write in it, but I don't need two hardbacks. We got the Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefwater. I bought the complete Fairy Loot set, which is very fancy, and I'm going to keep that so this can go to someone else. I sort of forgotten that I'd bought this in a special edition. This is Holly Black's The Stolen Air, which is the sort of companion series to her Folk of the Air series. I'm really excited about reading this. I haven't read it yet, but I have, a special Illumicrate edition, so I don't need this. Aren't you proud of me getting rid of stuff? Because I'm real proud. This is The Jazzed Air by Sarah Hassim. It is a book that I've been super excited about reading. I then got it in an Illumicrate box, and this is just sort of like the regular hardback. I should have cancelled it when I thought about what the theme was, but this is, someone else can enjoy this, hopefully. This is the regular old edition of Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I did get the special edition with like the extra chapters, and I'm just going to keep a hold of that one. Okay, on to last section. Remember 39. I think I got 39 over there. But last section is special edition books that I will be getting rid of. I will try to sell them, and if I cannot sell them, then at one point they will end up at my secondhand bookshop as well, and then someone can just have a really good day. First off, we got the very stunningly beautiful Illumicrate edition of Empire of the Vampire by J. Christoph. We got The Sun and the Void by Gabrielle Romero-LaCruz. I wanted to love this so badly. I just did not love this whatsoever. This is the very beautiful Illumicrate edition. I wanted to love this so bad. I can't even look at it without it making me a little bit mad. I am also selling the complete Aurora Cycle set. This is Aurora Rising, Aurora Burning, and Aurora End. I actually really enjoyed the first two books, but I've literally had the third book for like 2 years, and it's just fun sci-fi romp, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna reread these. Next we got The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. This is one of the most stunning books that I own. Look at all of this beautiful foiling, and then the underneath is just, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I thought this was a good book, but I didn't love it intensely, so I'm getting rid of it because I don't need it to just sit on my shelves and take up space, no matter how beautiful it is. We got Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is actually one of the very first sort of special editions I ever got. I got it from Fairy Loot ages and ages ago when these yellow pages were how the edges were like sprayed, and that was fancy. But I'm never gonna reread this. I enjoyed it, obviously. I've kept it for that reason, but I don't need it. Another book that I really wanted to love, and I did not. And funnily enough, two of these are like Illumicrate books that I've read prior to their publication, and then I ended up with them, and I was like, I did not need to end up with them. This is The Red Scholars Awake by Elliot de Bodard. I anticipated loving this, and I thought it was fine, but I wasn't blown away by it. And it's sort of a sci-fi opera, sapphic, intensity thing. And it's just written in a way that I couldn't quite get on board with. And also I wanted it to be longer to actually explain the world to me. And also these edges, I don't understand why. Next is a book that I have been going sort of back and forth about whether or not I want to keep. And I just don't think I'll ever reread it because I've read it and I enjoyed it. But then when I think back on it, I'm not sure I enjoyed it as much as I thought. And that is Iron Widow by Seon Jae Sao. This is like hailed as the angry woman, like sci-fi fantasy. And I enjoyed bits, and then bits I was kind of like, And the more I think about it, the less I love it, which is sort of weird for me because normally it goes the other way. It gave me such intense Nausicaa of the Valley vibes when I've read it that I guessed one of the plot points really early on. But yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna let someone else love this. I do love this cover though. Next is two other books that I've held on to for way too long. This is Girls of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Yang. This is another book that I got in one of my very first Illumicrate boxes. And then I read it and I really enjoyed it, and I got the sequel, and then I never read the sequel, and I probably will never reread either of these. Next we have a couple of special editions that I bought with the intense thought of, oh yeah, I'm going to read that. And I don't think I will, so I'm selling them. First off, we have A Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo. I read like half of Shadow and Bone back in the day. So I have Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I will try and read this year. That's my plan, because I think I will enjoy those two, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get into the rest of the series. I really love Lee Bardugo's Ninth House, but it's a very different thing. And this is like, it's another series after two main series, and I got this because I thought I was going to read it immediately, and I just didn't, but it is very pretty. We got We All Fall Down by Rose Sasbo. This is a book, it came under fire right as it came out with Illumicrate, and I love this like cover. I love these edges. I've heard not good things about the insides of the book, and I just don't think I'm gonna spend my time reading it. So first we have The House in the Cerulean Sea, and second we have Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. These are two sort of like cozy fantasy-ish things, and honestly, like, thinking about getting rid of them when they're this cute underneath like hurts my own feelings. But I have had these books for, I think it's like 1 or 2 years, and I never reach for either, and I'm just gonna sell them instead, and then hopefully someone else will love these a lot. So in the end, I have gotten rid of 54 books. Like, there's a chance that one is going to end up back on my shelf, maybe 2. We'll see. But still, 50 plus books is out, is very, very good. Once again, please don't get mad at me for getting rid of books, because it's my life and I do what I want. But let me know if you unhaul books. I think it's a healthy practice, especially if you buy books like regularly, unless you have tons of space. If so, then I would like to come and borrow some of your library space. But I hope you enjoyed this unhaul. It's real weird. I have completely forgotten how to speak to a camera, but that's okay, because I'm just trying to get back into it, and if I enjoy it, then I enjoy it, and if not, then that's okay too. But I hope you're having a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button at the same time so you don't miss out on any other videos from me that may or may not come your way. And then remember that I am proud of you, and you are doing great. And I don't know if this hat looks funny on me or whether it looks like I have a piece of cardboard on my head, but ayo, I'll see you all soon. Bye.